Greetings, family. Welcome back to another episode of Through the Looking Glass. I'm your amazing host, Key, the Freak Show Babe, and Starseed Oracle. For today's messages, I have the understanding of the levels of ascension and how we get stuck, or how you may end up getting stuck in a particular frequency, even though you are on the path of ascension. So when you think about ascension, think about it as a big staircase, and there's no real end to ascension. When you get to the top, you actually reunite with, I'm not going to go into that part. Anyway, just think of it as a big staircase. And if, let's say, when you awaken, you go from the ground floor of standing on the floor and just accepting what is thrown at you to an awakening. You are on the first step. This is usually why the portion of the awakening process starts with singing. If you're aligned with numbers, you'll see the repeating number of 111. It is literally the first step. That the series of ones are your call, your wake up call to take one step further, to start noticing that you are alive, to notice that there's something going on, that there's something that may be inside or outside of yourself. But anyway, it's a call to action, a call of notice to start taking the step. So you have a choice at that point when you see 111. Because that's usually like I said, it's the awakening, it's the frequency of awakening. And when you start seeing that, you have some options. You can either ignore it, dismiss it, say it's, just whatever, it's weird. And you can actually turn it off and stay where you are. You have the control and the opportunity to decide whether or not you're going to ascend on that first step. When you take that first step, you continue to decide how far you're willing to ascend. So when you are at, let's say you're at level 4 ascension, right? You've ascended, you've learned a whole plethora of things. There's more beyond that level. The reason a person will get stuck in a certain place of ascension, and not necessarily stuck. Some people are, sometimes we come here and we're only aligned to ascend to a specific level because there's a unique mission that you are there to fill in that role. So let's say you get to level 4, but you're really supposed to be a level 6 ascension master, right? So you on the 4th level and you're like, oh man, I know everything. But then you start seeing 111 again, because 111 is the call to take another step. Now, as you get higher, you start to see different numbers and different activators, different things that will call your unique psyche into action to start exploring again, to know that you're going into another ascension if you're meant to go further than that. But when you start to feel like you know everything and you become closed off to learning new, and you close yourself off to answering the call, sometimes this happens where you may have learned something at level 4 that scared you because in a past life or past experience, you may have been murdered for sharing this information. You may have been tortured for sharing this information. There's a lot of past life trauma that kind of creeps up the higher we get on this level of ascension, and it comes into play when we're getting close to times in which we have maybe perished for talking about something or speaking on something or not doing something in a previous incarnation. If you don't believe in that stuff, again, like I said, take what resonates. Well, I didn't say that, but I'm saying it now. Take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. But this message is basically about the understanding that when you become closed off, you stop the ascension process, but also the understanding that you have the control to decide which next step you're going to take. So a lot of times, I will coach, spiritual clients into the understanding of saying, and just speaking to spirit by saying, you know, temper this, temper this knowledge to a level at which I can comprehend and digest that doesn't, impede my growth. And because sometimes you'll end up in a water hose type of energy, especially when you get to certain levels of ascension where you're getting a lot of information at once and you're getting um a lot of things thrown at you at once, and it can create this illusion that you're being attacked, this illusion that you're having all these things happen to you, when it's really just a fear net that's being activated to try to keep you on level 2 or whatever. Anyway, um, so yeah, the main gist of this really was to remind you, don't, or do whatever you want, but be mindful of, if you stumbled upon a part in your ascension process and you feel a lot of fear, ask for healing around that fear, ask for clarification around that fear, so that you can continue to move to the level that you are actually meant to ascend to in this lifetime. Because once you can ascend fully to that level and get past those challenges, this is where you actually start your mission work, your life purpose, and all this other thing. So I know that, you know, some of the people that may come across this may not really. Anyway, I'm gonna just leave it at that, because Spirit is saying, Psh, okay. So, all right, guys, that is my time for this message. If you would like some valuable resources and tools to help you on your spiritual journey, head over to my website, freakshowbabe.com, and check it out. Okay, guys, talk to you later. Toodles.